Hi, it's James. Welcome back to the channel. So glad you are here. I'm having to borrow somebody's office for reasons I can't go into in depth. Um, but I wanted to respond to, I wanted to finish up what I was saying the other day about IHOP, and then I wanted to respond to Justin Peters' critique. For those, there's some people on the internet that are glad that IHOP is going to close. There's a piece of hair on my phone. It's weird. There's people that are glad that IHOP's going to close, and I'm glad that it's going to become something different. I'll just leave it at that. But I've got 4 quick points. Point number 1, as I mentioned the other day, I offered to preach at Forerunner Church. I offered to fill in. I said, hey, we got this pandemic going on. We never know if somebody's going to get sick, if somebody's going to get it. The person that is their senior pastor, and I hesitate to call him that because really Mike was in charge. Mike Bickle was in charge. Isaac Bennett essentially looked up to Mike. But anyway, long story short, Isaac broke his leg. And now, did they get somebody that was qualified to fill in? Of course they did. It was John Chisum, and he's now part of the advocate group. He's not even on the executive leadership team of IHOP Kansas City. But the thing that it showed me was that they don't want they don't want outsiders coming in. They don't want people. Basically, it's too cliquish. And because they kept people at an arm's distance, it created an atmosphere where somebody could hide sin, allegedly. So point number 2 is I think they need to not only rename but refocus. I would just call it the Kansas City Prayer Room. I learned in the Army that you lead by example. So if you're wanting other people to pray, you pray. You do what's right. And you encourage others to do the same. And if you do that, then we'll get more people praying. And go from there. Point number 3, boundaries. I'm going to put it on the screen. But Titus 2 says this. But as for you, communicate the behavior that goes with sound teaching. Older men are to be temperate, dignified, self-controlled, sound in faith, in love, and endurance. Older women likewise are to exhibit behavior fitting for those who are holy, not slandering, not slaves to excessive drinking, but teaching what is good. In this way they will train the younger women to love their husbands, to love their children, to be self-controlled, pure, fulfilling their duties at home, kind, being subject to their own husbands, so that the message of God may not be discredited. Encourage younger men to be likewise self-controlled, showing yourself to be an example of good works in every way. And let me finish reading that. In your teaching, show integrity and dignity, and a sound message that cannot be criticized, so that any opponent will be at a loss because he has nothing evil to say about us. So men are supposed to teach men, and women are supposed to teach women. There should never be a situation where a man is alone with a female that's not his spouse. There should be no behind the doors meetings with people of the opposite sex. Period. Now, I thought what I saw, at least maybe it was facade, I don't know. But I saw at times where Mike would meet with Misty Edwards outside. They would walk around the parking lot and talk. And I thought, well, he's having a meeting with somebody of the opposite sex, but he's doing it out in the open where people could see him, well, yeah, he did the right thing there. But how many other times where he did the wrong thing? We don't know. And of course, number 4, I need to focus on prayer. Let me get to 1 Timothy. I'm going to read 1 Timothy 2:8. It's funny, I'm flipping pages on a screen. Gotta love my Kindle. So let me start with verse 7. Remember, Timothy, this letter was written by Paul. So Paul's talking to Timothy, and he says, "For this I was appointed a preacher and an apostle. I am telling the truth, I'm not lying, and a teacher of the Gentiles in faith and truth." So here's verse 8. "So I want the men in every place to pray, lifting up holy hands without anger or dispute." The fact that we have a prayer room in Kansas City is a good thing. We need places of prayer around the world. Paul told Timothy, "I want the men in every place to pray." So we do need the prayer room. But any fingerprints of Mike Bickle need to be removed. And heck, you could call it Prayer Room 2.0. I don't care. But Mike doesn't need to be involved. He is, in my opinion, disqualified himself from ministry. Now, I hope that he can find a job and move on with his life, but he doesn't need to be in ministry. Anyway, if you are new, please hit like and subscribe. We will get back to the series on the one another passages. Until then, I hope you have a great day. Bye. And thanks for watching.